Arsenal will be Premier League champions come May. I honestly believe that. And it pains me to say this being a Spurs fan. But right now, we have got one of the best Premier League title races we have had in a long, long time. Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal all separated by 2 points. And it is going to go down to the wire. But this is why Arsenal are going to win the league. I'm going to break it down and we're going to get into it. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching down below and you haven't already, go down and smash the like button. Monday night was a fantastic win for Arsenal. They won 6 goals away at Sheffield United. And when you look at their games they've got coming up, they haven't got to play Liverpool anymore. The big games they've got to play is Manchester City, Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Spurs. And I believe they've got to play United at the very end. But their big games are spaced out quite nicely for them. If you look at Manchester City's run of games, they have got between now and April, they've got Manchester United, who they coast past, Liverpool, Newcastle, Brighton, Arsenal, Villa. Then they've also got to play Spurs and West Ham last game of the season. But this is why Arsenal, I honestly believe, will win the league, or most people would say could win the league. If you look at their defense, it is absolutely insane right now. It's insane. 23 goals conceded in 27 games. The most clean sheets of any team in the Premier League. You know, clean sheets against West Ham, clean sheets against Fulham, clean sheets against Palace, clean sheets against Sheffield United, clean sheets against Burnley, clean sheets against Brighton. I mean, they've got more clean sheets than dreams. But one of the main reasons why I think they will win the league is, one, because of their defense. 2, because of the way their fixtures are spaced out, all their tough games. Like I said, Arsenal have a very tough run, and Liverpool have a lot of injuries. Plus, Manchester City and Liverpool are still in 3 competitions. And I don't believe that Arsenal have the experience yet to go far, semis, final of the Champions League. And I do think Manchester City will. So when it comes down to it, Arsenal's squad is very inexperienced in Europe from pretty much their entire squad. They don't have the experience to go far in European competitions, in my opinion. They have less games than Manchester City and Liverpool. And ever since they come back from Dubai, they have scored 31 goals in 7 games. And the form before they went to Dubai, they just got knocked out of the FA Cup by Liverpool. They lost away to Fulham. They lost at home to West Ham. They drew to Liverpool. You know, they beat Brighton. Since they've come back from their kind of winter break, they've beaten Crystal Palace, Brentford, Liverpool, West Ham, Burnley, Newcastle, and Sheffield United, scoring 31 goals in 7 games. The only game they have lost in their last 8 was against Porto. Plus, when you come up against these European teams, everyone will naturally want to stink it out against Arsenal. And I think if they come up against Atletico Madrid or an Inter Milan or a Bayern Munich, I don't know if this team has enough experience to go toe-to-toe with some of the European giants. I'm not saying Arsenal are as good. I'm just saying I don't know if they have the experience. They weren't that great against Porto. Porto deserved to win. It was an absolute worldie in the 90th minute. But if they were to get knocked out, say, quarters or semi-finals of the Champions League, or even to Porto, you know, Arsenal would only have 11 games left this season. Whereas Manchester City, and Liverpool are still in the Premier League competing for a title, still in Europe. Liverpool in the Europa League and Man City are in the Champions League, and they're both still in the FA Cup. Now, Liverpool's team is being stretched to the absolute maximum with injuries, but I feel Arsenal at the moment have got momentum building. I know Liverpool are winning games left, right, and centre, and it's incredible the fact they've won, you know, their last 3 games in such a short period of time. But I just feel the momentum out of the 3 at the moment is on Arsenal's side. They're scoring goals relentlessly. 15 goals in their last 3, 21 in their last 4 games. They're not just beating teams. And people are going to come out and say, Henry, you know, it's great that they're winning games and they're scoring goals, but you're only playing Sheffield United. My team, Tottenham, you know, we beat Sheffield United in the dying seconds of the game. You know, and it's still a Premier League team. You know, to score 4 goals against Newcastle and 3 goals against your title challengers Liverpool is simply incredible. And I believe at the moment in time, Arsenal should be or are favourites because they've got less games to play. They've got the strongest defence of the three. And I believe they will be knocked out of Europe the quickest out of the three teams. And then when you look at their Premier League games, they've got Brentford on Saturday, which you expect Arsenal to go and score 4 or 5 goals, right? Then they've got Porto, which you expect Arsenal to go through. Then they've got 2 weeks off because they won't be playing Chelsea because Chelsea are in the FA Cup. And they've got Manchester City next. If they can go to Manchester City, to the Etihad, which is very, very difficult, and I don't think they will, but if they can go to the Etihad and win, that will be their biggest win under Mikel Arteta. Last season, they didn't have no Declan Rice, they didn't have no Saliba in that game, and all the questions were, do Saliba's men have what it takes to go toe-to-toe with the champions, to take on the Shark? They didn't. They fumbled, they bottled it, they got absolutely battered. This time, they're going with a complete different. They've got Declan Rice now. They've got Saliba. Then after that, they've got Luton at home, a favourable fixture. Brighton away, a favourable fixture. Villa, Wolves. Then they've got a tough game against Tottenham. Then they've got Bournemouth to kind of get back into it. A tough game against Manchester United. And then Everton. All their tough games are completely spread out, which in my opinion, when you look at the form they're in, you look at the goals they're scoring, you look at how strong they are defensively, they've got the highest goal difference in the league of 45. And when you look at Liverpool games they've got coming up, they've got Europa League, then they've got Manchester City, which is another massive game in the title race. Then they've got Sparta Prague. Then they've got Manchester United in the FA Cup away. Then they've got Brighton. Then they've got Sheffield United. Then they've got Manchester United again. Then they've got Palace, Fulham, West Ham away, which is a tough game, Tottenham at home, Villa away, and then Wolves at home, plus the Europa League fixtures in and around it. It's going to be a fascinating title race, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel. We'll be covering it the entire way. But at this moment in time, I think Arsenal have to be favourites, looking at the fact that I don't think they'll go that far in Europe, how strong they are defensively, the amount of goals they're scoring, and they have less games to play than the other two teams. Let me know down below, who do you think will be winning the Premier League this season? Like I said, it's going to be absolutely fascinating. Plus the Champions League as well. Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, and PSG are all through to the quarterfinals. The Europa League is back on tonight. Liverpool, Leverkusen, West Ham, and Brighton and Rangers are all in it, as well as Aston Villa in the Conference League. Make sure you have liked the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you all soon. Thank you all for watching. I am